Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another workout. And today was max effort squat day, and yes, it's going to be squat day. I'm going to start rotating max effort squats and deadlifts. You guys will see what I do with the accessory work based around that. And we got a pretty big PR, 62-pound box squat PR versus last time I tested it raw. I knew it was going to be a minimum of 480 pounds. Like I knew that already based upon my chain weights. But when I came in and I did the 4 plates per side, which is 412, because someone asked that already, they're like, how's the 5 plates 502? It's if you guys look at TDS's website, that's whose bow bar I use. It's a 52-pound bar. When I did the 412 and it felt like 250 pounds, I knew at that point I was going to break 500 today. Like my goal was to come in and hit at least 480. That was going to be my goal. No matter what else I did, the rest of my training was already planned out, the assistance movements I was going to do. But as I hit these, I knew that was going to happen. I knew the 500 was in the tank once I got under that. Like I just set it in my head that I was breaking 500 today, no matter what. Now, as you guys notice there, some people point out there is a little bit of thoracic rounding with the 500, but that's because that was a max for me. Right, that 482, if you guys notice, it was a lot cleaner. And then we go to 502, which I've already put up a slow motion of. There's a little bit of that T-spine rounding, but that for me is a weak link in my overall squat. It means I need more thoracic spine and I need more quads, right? People would argue as to which of those is the cause. Well, let's work on both. Let's get rid of all weaknesses. And it's not that bad. To be fair, it really isn't bad at all. It's well within acceptability. But it is there, and I'm going to keep working on it. I was really happy with that lift today. Now, for people who are like, oh, conjugate doesn't work, this concurrent training's not working, you're goofing off. Proof's in the pudding. So what are you guys going to do when I come in and PR on a deadlift? The benching's going a little slower, but it's because I need more hypertrophy in certain places. Then I did trap bar deadlifts. Oh, these are so hard having not done them. Also, that really big diameter grip, that's a bigger diameter than any of my normal bars. That is hard to grip. It's going to be good grip training, especially with rep work. So I'm going to start messing with these in place of my max deadlifts when I hit max squats. And I'll probably do high rep box squats. Yeah, high rep box squats. Woo. Which again, my clients are going to be laughing. A lot of my clients, I make them do up to sets of 8 and they hate me for it. So they're going to get some payback. Because on my max effort deadlift days, which we'll do the same way we've been doing the squats, we're going to rotate through variations. We'll do a bunch of sets of box squats. I did 3 sets of 6 on this, and that was about all I was good for. We just needed to get some volume pulling in, and we'll get the real volume on the smaller exercises. And these were tough. I don't know what I have on there. I think something like 438. I think that's a 58-pound bar. If I recall, that bar weighs 58. I could be wrong. Someone can feel free to check it. So I don't quote me on that and claim that I'm saying that that's absolutely what it is. If I remember correctly, that is a 58-pound bar. But it's Rogue brand. You can see the Rogue lettering on it. Made by Rogue. You guys can look it up yourselves. And then the plates I have. So I think it's 438. But 3 sets of 6, this was challenging. Felt like it was a good amount of work after having hit that max squat first. But if nothing else, I felt like after hitting that max squat, I could have just walked away and been happy for the day, and not done any more training. But I know I've got to do the assistance work and the accessory work. We have to do it. I have to keep recompositioning. And I think people, it's become very, very clear. I've already had one friend look at this and say, since my other decks, he thinks I'm probably 16%. Well, if I'm 16% body fat, I've gained about 6 pounds of muscle this year. I've gained 6 pounds of muscle. Pretty good. I can live with that. Then I'm doing these barbell step ups. I'm going to use these to replace my split squats. I started thinking about what are my options because I don't like the split squats. These are hard. Now, they still have advantages over the silly pistol squat because you don't lose as much on the balance here. You know, you can pull the bar in tight. Right, you can maintain balance good and still get the benefit that you want from a split squat or a lunge. Why? What is it we're trying to do? trying to work the lower quad on each leg individually with a heavy weight from the bottom. We're trying to put tension on the quad through the full range of motion, particularly the stretch at the bottom. If you have weak quads, particularly weak quads at the bottom of your squat, this will fix it. Now, a lot of people are like, Jason, you got pretty big quads. Yeah, I've got 500-pound squatter quads. I don't have 600-pound squatter quads. So I need 600-pound squatter quads. And it's just as simple as that. So when we talk about weak points, it doesn't mean weak relative to some person who's weak. If you squat 300 pounds, yeah, obviously I don't have any muscles at your size. If you bench 250, I don't have any muscles at your size. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about for all-around strength. I've got to bring these points up. And that's the thing with this system. We rotate all these lifts and we do these things because you want to get all-around strong. It's kind of the point that I've been making with some of this stuff. Big and strong is big and strong. A true strength athlete is good at maximum strength at multiple lifts through multiple joint angles, multiple movement patterns. You're all around thick. You don't have muscular weaknesses. You're explosive. You're conditioned. Right? And condition doesn't mean bodybuilder condition. We mean cardiovascular conditioning. That's why I do loaded carries. I do farmer's walks 3 or 4 days a week right now. Oop, I kind of misstepped on that one. So that's why these are roughly 10 to 12. And on some of these, I'm making sure, a couple of the sets I did one more rep with my weak leg. So I started with my left and then finished with my left because I know that's my weaker leg. Just making sure. Just making sure. And you always lead with the weak side. Because again, if we're trying to ensure balance, and you know what? Muscle imbalances will get you on those sumo deadlifts and the wide stance squats, because that's the direction I'm trying to go. Because that is actually more athletic. We could argue about lifting the more weight, but it's easier to recover from some of the wider stance movements if we know it carries over better to sports. Because what are we talking about with being a strength athlete? What are we talking about with being an athlete? People have got this weird idea because they don't know how I train these days or what I do, that I'm just about powerlifting. I'm not. I'm an athlete. Granted, a master's athlete. I'm an athlete who happens to do powerlifting. But the reality is some of the best powerlifters in the world train in a way that where they could rotate right in with NFL players and other people, serious field athletes. The training is really similar. All right, we're trying to get all around big and strong and explosive and good conditioning so that you're in shape so you can recover from it, good work capacity. And you know, yes, I'll look at an exercise like these barbell step ups, and I'm going to get stronger at them. I'm getting stronger at one-legged stuff in general. I wanted to try this one now. And I may only do it every other week. I may only do it on my max effort squat days because I'm going to have to box squat after my heavy deadlift days. It's fine. Well, we need to get good at all this stuff. And yes, we might look at this and laugh and say it's a silly girl exercise. But you know what? After you do a max squat, it sure finishes off that weak point on your quads. And especially if you build up to 3, 4, maybe 5 sets of 10. That's a lot of quad work. And yeah, it might seem silly, it might seem fluffy, but it works. And it's easy to recover from. It works the joint angles that we want for a squat. All right? And it helps eliminate any issues with strength imbalances unilaterally. It's just an insurance policy on it. This last set was faster because I got into the groove and I was able to get 12 on each leg. So getting into the groove of it, and I'll be able to increase weight on this. But, you know, I'm going to do some exercises like this that I would have even laughed at years ago. But like, these are fluffy goofball exercises. But do they work? Do they help thicken you up where you need to be thickened up to gain the most muscle on your big lifts? The answer is yes. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get strong. If that means more conditioning work so that I can have a higher work capacity to do more volume, then it's more conditioning work. If it means I got to do silly one-legged step-ups like a chick so that I can put another 50 pounds on my squat, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get strong. I'm going to do what works. I'm going to do what works. And that means I've got to get strong at everything. It means I can't have any weak links anywhere. It means I got to get stronger at maximum strength. I have to get more explosive, more conditioned. I've got to bring up all my weak points. It's going to be a lot more training volume, a lot more assistance movements over time as we go forward, and it's working. I mean, realistically, that's the heaviest squat I've hit at any given body weight, at this body weight at least, weighing sub 220, right? Not the best you guys have seen me do, because there's no water cut for that, right? Last meet I did a water cut. I was 235, a little bit out. I'm walking around 218, 219 right now, and the next age class up, and my squat's going up. It's working. It's working. I'm going to have to fight tooth and nail for the bench press, but we'll get there too. Same strategies will work for that over time. Then we did a bunch of sets of good mornings, right? 5 sets of 12 with the chains, with a follow through at the top. And someone had asked me, they're like, why are you doing that? The most important part's the bottom. No, the most important part's not the bottom. If your goal is a hamstring stretch reflex, then yes, but I'm still getting the hamstring stretch reflex. And I get more of that on the band day. I do 2 different types of good mornings. Yes, I'm doing these for posterior chain. Absolutely. That's part of it. However, I'm doing them with chains in the safety bar because I need more T-spine. You know, what are we talking about? That little bit of backgrounding I get when I get really heavy on a squat, that upper back, that upper back, the T-spine rounding. I need to strengthen that area. And I need to do it explosively so that it snaps. That's why I'm following through with these and I'm going explosive and using chains. I'm correcting that weak point. And all good mornings will help you with deadlifts. They will all help you with the deadlift. So this exercise is serving multiple functions. And this particular variation I'm doing of it, again, by using chains in the safety bar, makes it a little more focused on my thoracic spine and my upper back and my neck and all of those things. The things that I need to make sure that that weak link, that possible weak link in my squat, all those muscles thicken up and strengthen up. I need more support musculature right there. I need to make sure that I can handle it. Because right now I have a 500-pound squat upper back and T-spine. Just like I have 500-pound quads. All right. Well, they need to be 550 upper back and quads. They need to be 600 upper back and quads to thicken those areas up. Have to. And it's part of getting all around big and all around strong. Because all these variations are also going to make me just bigger in general. And at the end of the day, if we get bigger and we get leaner, we're a better all-around strength athlete. Because extra muscle anywhere is worth more performance than extra fat at the same body weight. Just happened to be slightly biased in where I put it. But very, very happy with today's workout. Everything's moving forward. I feel good. This workout was good. Not overly exhausted. It was fatiguing but not exhausting. But it was a good session, and I got a very, very important, very serious milestone PR. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.